All right, people, what's up? It's your boy Alex. Today's YouTube video is going to be a sports video. The reason why I'm making a sports video is because we got two professional football games being televised on Saturday and then two more games on Sunday. So in 2 days, we're going to have four football games. And unfortunately, I will be working on a Saturday from 9:30 in the morning to 4:30 and cannot make no NFL predictions between that time period. Now, once I work at 4:30 and I get off at 5, then I can go home. And you should know the rules when you make sports prediction videos. You can make the video 2 days or 3 days prior to the video. I mean, to the sporting event. You can't make a prediction video hours away when the game starts. You know, some people consider that as cheating. In this case, this is the last video prediction to make. This one's going to be a Saturday game. This one's going to be the Indianapolis Colts versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this football team has gone to the playoffs for the last 10 to 12 years. The Indianapolis Colts has gone to the playoffs, and they always win a playoff game. And then for whatever reasons, whether explained or not explained, they seem to always lose their second playoff game. And the quarterback is Andrew Luck. Now, he's been on this football team for about 8 to 9 NFL seasons. He's been here for 9 years. And he's very good at being a quarterback. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster, he's athletic. He can play on both sides of the football. But every time he would face teams like the New England Patriots, he would always get his ass kicked and they would always lose. I'm not making this up. But for 9 to 10 years that he's been playing professional football, he always loses to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. If it ain't the Patriots, then he would lose to someone like the Denver Broncos. If it ain't the Broncos, then he would lose to the Eagles. It would always be someone in the second round that he would lose to. Now, if this team is going to win a playoff game and attempt to do something it hasn't done in its franchise for a very long time, and that is try to go to a Super Bowl, Andrew Luck's got to win all four quarters. He's got to lead this team to victory. I mean, this is the Andrew Luck. It's not a rookie no more. This Andrew Luck is in his prime. And if you lose a football game in your prime, then a lot of people scratch their head and say, I don't understand. When you was in the NFL for the first 4 years, it was okay. Because you was only in the NFL for 4 years, but you've been playing for about 9 to 10 years. It's time for you to finally show us why you were drafted so high. It's time for you to show us now. It's time to show us that you can produce and win football games and go into history as a great football player that the general manager know you to be. So that's my issue with the Colts. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs, they got the best record. You know, the second or third best team to have the best record. They won 75 to 85% of their football games. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, they're athletic, they're in your face, and they can win football games in overtime. Oh yeah, they can win football games in overtime. Did you not see that one football game where it was the Kansas City Chiefs and the LA Rams? That fucking football game went back and forth. And you couldn't even tell who was going to win that football game. I mean, at one point you said, yeah, they're going to break the record. They're going to break the undefeated record. And LA Rams came back and won the football game in overtime. And that was on Monday Night Football that happened. And a lot of people started to scratch their head and say, what if those two teams meet each other again for the Super Bowl and the same thing happens? So Kansas City Chiefs is at home. And it's been predicted that all the teams that are at home should win 90%, right? Well, I'm going to say Kansas City Chiefs probably win this game. You know, I'm pretty sure that they're going to win the game based on the fact that they're at home. They've got the home crowd. They got the best record. You know, they got a fiery quarterback. They've got the best players. But I have a feeling that if Andrew Luck can somehow figure out how to play good in the second half of a football game, you could see possibly and potentially an upset. Now, I don't think you're going to see an upset in this game. I think it's going to go exactly as planned and expected. The Chiefs win and they go to the next round of the NFL playoffs. But if Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts have a shot at winning this football game, it would be him playing in all 4 quarters, play the first half real great, play the second half great. The problem that Andrew Luck has is he does good the first and second quarter, and then when it's time for him to really show up, he the game gets tight in the third quarter, and the fourth quarter he's not able to pull the trigger. And a prime example of that is when he would go against the New England Patriots in the past. He would be on the verge of beating New England, and then when it was time to show up in the fourth quarter, he did, but then he ran out of ammo and couldn't pull the trigger. And if he does that in Saturday's game, then Kansas City will win just because there was no one to respond critically. Now, for Kansas City Chiefs to just steamroll over this football team, I think the score might be 6-0. It could be 12-0. And then I think, the Colts, come to life. They score. Then the score is 6-12. And then the game's tied up before we go into halftime. And then the second half, whoever plays with the best effort in the second half will be the winner of the football game. So if Kansas City Chiefs play better the second half, they win at home. But if the Colts do better the second half than the first half, then the Colts win the football game. And the reason why I say that is because if Andrew Luck wins this football game, then what you expect after that is you expect, and I mean this, you would expect that by the time he gets to the third football game, it better not be against somebody like the LA Rams. It better not be against somebody like the New Orleans Saints. And it better not be against somebody like the New England Patriots, because what did I say in the beginning of this video? Anytime he faced them type of football teams, he always loses the second football game or loses the game on the way to the Super Bowl. So that's why I'm a little critical of the Indianapolis Colts. And like I said, if he can play all 4 quarters and actually do great in the fourth quarter, possibly and potentially could cause an upset. That means Kansas City Chiefs could win the football game, and then at the last minute, a comeback happens. Because that does happen in these types of games where you're on the verge of winning the football game, and then from out of nowhere, 1 touchdown comes, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. Before you know it, it's 5 touchdowns. Then the score gets tied. Then the game gets sent into overtime. And then next thing you know, you see somebody else win the football game. So there could be possibly or potentially an upset. But because Kansas City Chiefs is at home, they are expected to take the W. So I'm going to go with Kansas City Chiefs, 80% on this. And the Colts, to be nice and fair, I'm going to say the Colts might get 60% on that. So I hope you like this video. Until next time, peace.